friends.
This is History for the Books. I'm Katie.
I'm Allie.
And today we are on a couch.
Yes, a very cozy couch.
Well, it's my couch because we decided to switch it up. And whenever I get my new house, we will be in there. But for now, we just kind of are nomads.
Yes.
We're
we
nomads.
do not have a home.
So we are on my couch today for a cozy episode. We got sweaters on, we got blankets.
It's -0 in this house.
It's so cold. I don't know why. Also, I have a History for the Books podcast sweatshirt on, Allie.
Yep.
Look at this.
I could have had mine on too.
You can't really see on the camera, but it says History for the Books podcast. Allie made it. It's adorable. So,
yours truly.
Yep, yours truly. Today, first of all, wait, you have a 3-year-old.
Yes. My Creedy just had a birthday yesterday.
You have a 3-year-old.
I know.
Yeah, yesterday.
He's my life, my love.
Yeah, he's so cute. Yesterday, we celebrated Creedy's 3rd birthday, which means I will also have a 3-year-old very soon.
I will have a 1-year-old next month.
This is wild.
I know. It's like Creedy 3, Callum 1, Parker 3.
I just
3
can't.
months of birthdays and growing up.
This is a really busy time in our lives. Faux show.
For sure.
But anywho, today we are talking about the book 1,000 White Women by Jim Fergus, because we are following the Native American History Month, and we are just rolling right along.
We picked out really good books this month.
We did. This one is really good. Allie told me to read it, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. And my cousin Aaliyah also told me to read it this year, and I told her I would read it. And I just wasn't getting around to it until Allie put it on our podcast document. And I was like, well, crap.
Now I have to read it.
Guess I'm reading it. So I did.
Do you regret?
Nope. It was one of my favorite books of the year. It's so good.
Exactly.
And I think anyone who reads it will relate. So I'm just going to go right for it.
Go for it, girl.
Got my notes here. I'm just going to get all cozy. Okay, so we follow May Dodd. Okay. And, well, let me start this. The beginning of the book, we open with, like, her great-grandson or somebody related to her.
Yeah, I think it's either her great-grandson or great-great-grandson.
Yeah. And he has found these journals, and it's kind of become a thing in his family to be like, don't become May Dodd, because she was psychotic to all of them. She's just like crazy woman, crazy town USA. And so he's like opening all these journals and going through it and learning about like why everybody thought she was crazy and all the things. But then we jump back in time and live through May Dodd's life through her journals.
Right.
And
see that she's not really crazy.
Yeah. So the reason that the whole family thinks that May is insane is because she was actually sent to an insane asylum for getting pregnant out of wedlock.
Which was the thing.
Yeah. And so she's basically sent there and is diagnosed with promiscuity, which is insane. Yeah. She's diagnosed.
Do you think that you would be diagnosed with promiscuity?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
I literally did get pregnant out of wedlock. So
that's true. This is true.
I would have been sent to an asylum.
I'm just going to send you to an asylum right now. You're long overdue.
But she did already have her children when she was sent away.
Yeah.
And so she got her kids taken away from her. And she was sent there without her children. She is like forced to be committed to this horrible place where she's subject to a bunch of torture, and like the male nurses are like sexually assaulting her and like it's just all bad. And she's also subject to like treatments of like putting scalding hot water up her vagina. Could you, first of all,
No, I don't want to imagine it.
okay,
No.
let's move on.
I just
Allie said,
don't want to think
actually,
about anything traumatizing.
yeah. So, but they would do this to calm her deranged sexual desires.
Oh, I thought you said they were doing it to calm her down, and like scalding hot water in the vagina is gonna calm her right down for
Nope.
sure.
It's basically if you singe your lady parts, you won't want anything up there, I guess.
Well, I think the sexual assault was probably doing more to help her sexual desires be
Yeah.
obliterated,
Yeah, for
honestly.
sure.
Because she said, no,
yeah.
no, I don't want
She
anybody
was
to touch me after that.
literally living in hell
Mm-hmm.
at this asylum. And so, as you can imagine, her first opportunity to get the F out of there, she takes.
Mm-hmm.
And this opportunity to leave happens to be a government program um, where the government is going to send 1,000 white women to be the brides of a Native American tribe to kind of like restore peace,
Mm-hmm.
basically, because the Native Americans have a tradition of like um, bringing families together by having kids, basically, like
Yeah,
between tribes.
they didn't. It's been a while. When did I read this? Last year, I think, or maybe the beginning of this year. They didn't send the full 1,000 though, right?
Right.
Yeah, they only sent like a couple
Mm-hmm.
hundred or
Mm-hmm.
something. And then they only sent it to one specific
Yes.
tribe, and this tribe said essentially like their logic was
It
we
integrates the cultures.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the mothers they have a maternal whatever. So like they go through the maternal side, so if a child like if they have a kid, then that child will be a part of the mother's tribe, ultimately like the white tribe.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So it's basically a way to integrate the white man and the Native Americans
right.
and hopefully restore peace.
Peace. Yeah.
And so they have women sign up
Mm-hmm.
and they choose women to go and live the life of a Native American within the
Right.
tribe and kind of fully immerse themselves into this life.
Right.
And May is like, whatever I got to do to get out of here, I'm going to do. And
Right.
so she decides to sign up. Also, who signs up is a lady named Martha, who is an assistant at the asylum. And she
Yep.
helps May like forge paperwork from her parents to get her out of the asylum. She helps her like kind of clear the path to actually go. And Martha also goes with her. And so she's joined her on the journey and they're going. And they get on this train to like go out there where they meet the rest of the women who are going. And among them are twin sisters Maggie and Susie, who are Scottish. Okay. And then Sarah, she's also from the asylum, but she's mute. Like she doesn't
Yeah,
talk at
I forgot
all.
about her.
Daisy Lovelace, she is from the deep, deep South, honey.
Mm-hmm. If
And
you couldn't tell by the name.
yes. And then Gretchen, she is this big Swedish
Oh
lady.
yeah, I love Gretchen.
Um, Lady Narcissa White, she is an evangelical.
Yep.
And then Femi is a former slave. Okay.
Mm.
So we have a mix of a bunch of
Mm.
like very diverse characters, a bunch of like different vibes going on. It's
Yeah.
really great because you can see like all the hardships they go through together and how
Right.
each person handles it
And how they
differently.
got there in that situation.
Yep. And what made them come and do this
Yeah.
crazy adventure. And so then let me see. Okay, on the way there, it takes them a while to get to the tribes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're like stopping at all of these, like, what are they called? Military bases, maybe?
Like outposts and stuff.
Outposts,
Yeah.
outposts, yeah. They're stopping at all these outposts, and at one of them, May meets Captain Bork. Is that how you say it?
I don't remember. I did listen to an audiobook, but I don't remember how they said it.
I think okay, I think it is Bork, but that's how at least I said it.
In her head.
Which is correct. So she meets Captain Bork, and he is an officer in the army, but he's engaged to this other
Yeah.
woman.
Oh my gosh. It's been a while since I read this, so I forgot about all this. But
Yeah. And they like are so attracted to each other.
yeah.
They like fall in love with each other. But in the back of their minds, like he is engaged to somebody else, so he has to go do that. And then
Right.
she is basically engaged to a member of this tribe.
Yeah, she's
So
literally leaving to meet her new
yeah. So she has to go and do
husband.
that. So they know, like, okay, well, we can't
Be together.
do that.
Right.
So, they are eventually sent off to live with their prospective husbands within this tribe, and May is actually chosen by the chief of the clan. Okay, Little Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
He is the chief. Do you have something to say?
No, I'm just gonna talk about him in
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never know by that look if she's about to get me in trouble or if she
No.
has something to say.
I am talking about Little Wolf later. I guess I didn't realize I don't know when I was researching that. Anyways, I'll talk about it later,
great.
but I'm going off topic.
I'll just keep going then. If you
just
could
keep
keep your eyes to yourself,
Sorry,
please.
I just won't look at you at all. I must really wear all my emotions on my face because literally every time something is going through my head, you're like,
or I can just read you really well.
apparently. We must be friends or something.
So Little Wolf actually has 2 other wives, and this is common in his tribe, but it's all obviously very jarring for May because she is not used to this. She's very used to monogamous.
She's white.
Yeah, she's a white woman. You have one wife, one husband.
Right.
That's it. And so when she is coming into this tribe, she's like, okay, where do I fit?
Right.
Because I was told I was getting a husband. So, in the, let me see, my notes are not making any sense. Okay, so the whole book is filled with like, I'm not going to go into all of it, but
it's a lot.
It's so much, but it's so good.
It's so
the
good.
book is filled with all of these women on this journey growing closer together because a lot of them have very differing viewpoints of the world in general. And so they have to kind of learn how to get past their differences.
Right.
Because they're all living the same life.
Yeah. I think it was like Gretchen was there because she's like, I'm just so ugly and I just like can't find a husband, but I really want a kid, so that's why I signed up. And then Phoebe was a former slave, and she wanted to be there.
She just wants a life basically where no one is going to tell her what to do anymore. And she knows that in these Native American tribes, women are like held so high. Like
it's closer to her like African roots. That's what she was saying. Like it's closer to the tribe I came from pretty much in Africa. So
yeah. But you can imagine that this life is so different than what any of these women are used to.
Right.
Because it just Native American tribal life is something that's so interesting to me, but it's very nomadic, and like if it's too cold, we're going to pick up and move over here. If there's not enough animals to hunt, we're going to pick up and move to somewhere.
Well, and they have a communication barrier too.
Yes.
She can't even communicate with her husband properly because she doesn't
speak different languages.
Yeah.
So learning the language and trying to like close that gap a little bit is hard too. So the only people that know English I'm
just laughing at the situation.
The only people who know English and who they can talk to are each other.
Yeah.
and then the priest that has been sent
Oh,
with
right.
them. So,
Who kind of helps them communicate with their
yeah.
husbands.
Um,
Forgot about the priest.
Yep. Also during this time, May is being kind of harassed by a different tribe member. He is a part of the same tribe, but like a different clan.
Yeah.
His name's
Or was
Jules.
he exiled or something?
Not yet.
Oh, he got exiled later.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he is a part of a different clan and within the same tribe. So they live separately, but they come together for like festivals and stuff like that.
Right.
But his name is Jules, and he is another storyline that kind of like branches off of the main one. But he is important to mention because he is a bigger part, and he was scary, dude.
He was scary. I still, even like a year later, remember how she describes him, like dirty,
Yes.
just disgusting, woolly looking dude that crawls
And
out of the forest.
He speaks French.
Yeah.
And I took French in high school, which, I mean,
God bless you.
Not really, nothing
Right.
really. But when the things he said to her, I was able to like know what they meant.
I looked them up.
And I was like, oh,
dude, yeah, no, he freaking.
God.
Yeah. No, I looked them up. I remember, I think I was reading it, part of it on Kindle. And so on Kindle, you can like underline it and whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes, he was scary.
Yeah.
But anywho,
especially from somebody who's already been sexually assaulted and harassed basically her whole freaking life. So,
yep. But the whole point of them going and being the wives of the members of this tribe it's to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Because they want to have babies and all the things we described earlier. So many of the women do get pregnant. I'm not sure if all of them do or not. Femi is the only one I'm questioning. I think I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I know she didn't get pregnant if she did for a while because she was like, no one's going to tell me when I get to have or when I'm going to have a baby.
Yeah. I was going to say somebody was like, refusing to like have sex with their husband.
Yeah. She was like, I am going to do it when I am ready to do it. But I can't remember if she actually did or not. But most of them do get pregnant. And while they are all pregnant, this other tribe kidnaps the women. Okay. And another tragedy occurs, but I'm not going to say what it was because it freaking ripped my soul out of my body. And I want everyone to experience that.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Dude, that was traumatizing.
That was very traumatizing.
So traumatizing that I blocked that out of my head.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it ripped my soul out too.
Yep. Another interesting thing I want to mention is that since all of this story is being told through May's journal entries, you're not getting these events as they are happening.
Yeah.
When you're reading it, the events have already happened and she's recounting it.
Right.
Like she
you would writing a diary or a journal.
It could be like a week ago, it could have been a month ago, it could have been yesterday. Like and she tells you obviously in her journal entries, but it's already happened. So the damage is already done.
Right.
Like, I haven't read a book like that before, and I thought it was really cool. Okay, so let's see.
I think that's interesting that you said that. I read a lot of reviews covering this book, and a lot of them are like, how can Jim write this book about a like sexually assaulted woman and she's acting fine or has healed or whatever, but I wonder if that's because it's months later after that's happened to her, so she's had enough time, like obviously you never heal from something like that, but you've had enough time to like get over the initial shock and hurt thing.
And I will also say May is also very funny and witty, and I think a lot of the times people hide that pain with humor.
Right.
And
samesies.
So I think that's another point to it too. Like she is probably really hurting. I mean, she got her kids taken away also. Like she is moving on and living this life. She's about to have another child and her other two children are just gone.
Yeah.
So like that has to be
Right.
unimaginable pain.
Right.
But she's writing these journal entries and like sometimes you just have to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I wouldn't agree with those reviews. I don't think.
I'll talk about it later. I was gonna save that towards like our
Okay.
reviews, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that since I had forgotten that she writes it
Yeah.
like months or weeks later.
Yeah.
So
eventually May's baby is born. She names her Rin. And there are two problems. Rin comes early.
Yep.
Okay. Rin is also white.
Yep.
That's a problem.
She said.
And why is this a problem, you might ask? Well,
they're probably asking that.
May has a Native American husband. He is not white.
No.
So this baby is not Native American. Okay? Odd. The baby's actually Captain
Her husband
Borks.
said, water in the vagina?
The Native American tribe actually said, you're going back to the institution.
Promiscuity? Promiscuity. Gosh, I can talk. Actually, her husband's pretty understanding, I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's because they can't communicate or what, but...
No, so they actually see Rin as like a savior baby.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it could have gone one of two ways, I think. Like, either he's going to be pissed or the baby's a savior.
The baby is a little savior.
Yeah, but really, Rin is Captain Bork's daughter. And
plot twist.
May knows this.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
I forgot that happened too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they think she's a savior, and May is warned. Very soon after Rin is born, Captain Bork comes or sends a messenger to say like an attack is coming on the tribe and you need to get out of there. The government is wanting to take back the land that they've given these tribes, and so you can either surrender or everyone's gonna die, basically. What the F is going on out there?
I think those kids are like beaten something.
So sorry if you can hear that. I have feral children that run around out here.
Your neighbors are going to listen to this podcast and be like,
good, get your kids under control.
Katie has no control. She said, I won't hold back.
So around the same time that this warning comes, a big snowstorm hits, okay? There's like feet and feet of snow. feet.
You just kept saying it, and I was like, okay, we're going for it. Keep going, girl. Feet and feet. It's fine. I say stupid stuff all the time on this podcast.
I'm going to go with it.
My job, Katie.
There's feet and feet of snow. Okay, and the people are not able to surrender because they cannot travel in these feet of snow.
Right.
To get to the place they need to surrender. So instead, they fly a white flag. Okay.
Right.
And they are signaling that we are surrendering. We just literally can't walk in these feet of snow.
We cannot move.
So they assume that they're going to be safe because they're surrendering. Nope. The attack still happens.
Yep.
Okay. And if you want to know why or what happens, you're going to have to read the book.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to spoil anything else. Even if you're not huge into historical fiction, this book, I swear, it's so good. It is just so freaking good. I would recommend this to literally anyone. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Recommended it to you.
I loved all of the characters. I love them all. What do you rate it?
Oh, snap, you're done? Okay.
I'm done.
Aaliyah actually got me this book. I could have brought it today. I forgot about that. Dang. I think it was Aaliyah that got it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I rated it a 5
So did I.
star.
So good, double 5.
It's so good. I got like emotionally attached to all the characters, like all of the women in this story. I obviously love the historical aspect of it and Native American aspect of it. And then I really liked that, like, without researching this, you really felt like this was a true event. Like, the author did a really good job of making you feel like, did this actually happen?
Yeah, I thought it really did happen.
Yeah.
Which I will say that it is based on an actual historical event, but it's told
Sort of.
through.
I'll get into it.
You're gonna tell them,
Yeah.
but it's based on it if it were to have actually happened. And it's set in 1875. I forgot to say that, but I do have some quotes.
Okay.
I have lots of quotes, actually.
Of course you do.
I'm gonna just read them now. That's typically what you do after
Let
you
me
say.
look on my Goodreads. I'll see if I had any.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep going. I have her muteness had been her final strength, her final testament to the cruelty of this world. Because wow. The next one I have is there no end to a woman's suffering on this earth? Amen.
Exactly.
The next one is how ironic that in order to escape the lunatic asylum, I have had to embark on the most insane undertaking of my life.
Right. Literally had to go to a whole new culture.
Yep. This is a long one. It says the best way to make them happy is to wait on them hand and foot, cook for them, have sexual congress whenever and wherever they desire.
Yep.
But never initiate the act yourself and don't demonstrate any forwardness or longingness of your own. This appears to frighten men, most of them whom are merely little boys pretending to be men. And perhaps most importantly, just as most men tear women who express their physical longings, so they dislike women who express opinions of any sort on any subject. Men hate women, basically.
Sorry, I was looking at this one, which
girl.
crushed my soul.
You want to read one?
It'll give away what you were trying to not say. It's sad, though. Crushed my soul. It's fine. I won't read it.
Okay. My next one was, I personally have resolved to never display weakness, to be always strong and firm and forthright, to show neither fear nor uncertainty. No matter how fearful and uncertain I may be inside, I see no other way to survive this ordeal.
She's accurate there.
Yeah. And then I have, perhaps I write to stay alive, to keep us all alive. Yeah. Don't you know that I laugh because it's my last defense against tears?
Me.
Yeah, same. All right, Allison, hit us with the history.
Okay, I'm just going to preface this by saying this was very confusing.
Okay, great.
This was so confusing. And I don't know if it's because I did it in the middle of the night and my brain was half working.
Literally what she says every week.
Literally every week. I do all this research at nighttime as I'm falling asleep. I just torture my brain basically to death. But it was confusing because this 1,000 white women thing, it's controversial if it was actually a thing or not, if it was actually said. Anyways,
like the proposal from the tribes?
Yes.
Okay.
So in the book, it is proposed by a little wolf, which it is claimed that Little Wolf also went to see Ulysses S. Grant, along with another chief and I don't remember if he's brought up in the book or not, or if it's just Little Wolf. I don't know. Um, but anytime that like I tried to look this up, pretty much like, is this fact? Is this a factual thing? And every time I did, it brought up reviews for 1,000 White Women, and nothing really substantial came from it. And so uh, it said that this was brought up during the Fort Laramie um, proclamation thing treaty, and so I tried to look that up, and it didn't say anything about it. So, anyways, I'm just gonna read what I have and kind of discuss it, like my research and stuff, because it's very confusing, Katie.
Okay, here we go.
And honestly, just all of the back and forth in the wars. And
yeah,
everything.
girl.
My research was a lot like this book, where it was like a lot of information that really can only come together if you put in a lot of detail. Okay. And I don't have time to tell you all the details. Okay, so my research is going to start in 1868.
Okay.
So about 10 years before the book. The Northern Cheyenne and the Northern Arapaho signed a treaty, the Fort Laramie Treaty, which I was talking about, with the United States government. And in the treaty, both the Cheyenne and the Arapaho people agreed that their permanent homeland would be near the Southern Arapaho. So like where they were, which at this point in time, I've forgotten where that was. So don't ask me. I'm assuming up north. I think South Dakota. I say with hesitation. I think I wrote it somewhere else in here. Anyways, so in the treaty, both the Cheyenne and the Arapaho people had agreed that their permanent homeland would be near the Southern Arapaho. However, they still had the rights to hunt over their ancestral lands as long as the game was still there. Okay, so this treaty, this lingo, Allie doesn't understand it. So if none of that made any sense, it's because it didn't make sense to me either. Okay.
Look it up to your damn self if you need to know.
And I feel like that was a thing. Like, okay, if Allie in 2023, a white little girl in the Ozarks cannot understand this government treaty with Native Americans, I highly doubt that Native Americans that couldn't speak English could understand
for real though.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, for real though. Unless they had like English speaking ambassador or whatever, but
I'm sure they did, but who's to say like Sucker isn't lying or Sucker didn't understand it either? He's like, I think this might be a Native American word. He's for like, this.
Just sign it. He said, just sign it.
Yeah, legit. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. Anyways, the United States, in their part, would supply teachers, carpenters, clothing, farmers, and adult males who were the head would also receive 320 acres of land and seeds and agriculture supplies. Yeah, basically everything. They're like, we're going to give you everything to be white, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's all the supplies that you need to be a white man. And some Bibles, yeah. I think they did. They had teachers obviously would taught you that, and priests. Yeah, there's missionaries all the time that go over there. This land was in the Black Hills area, which is in North Dakota. Yeah.
Well, you said South Dakota 5 minutes South Dakota. Ago, so
maybe I don't know.
It's in a Dakota.
It's in one of those Dakotas. I think actually I'm going to say that, and it's going to be like freaking Wisconsin or something. It's not Wisconsin, but anyways, Montana. I don't know.
It's somewhere.
I think I wrote it down somewhere. Okay, so what I just said, I think that was in the treaty. So there was. This is so.
I'm trying to follow.
I'm telling you. Okay, so this Fort Laramie Treaty, right? They were going back and forth between sending them to a reservation on Oklahoma or keeping them on their native lands, pretty much.
Okay.
So I don't think at this point they've been sent to Oklahoma, but they were getting ready to get sent to Oklahoma. So they moved them from their ancestral land to like a different part, and then, but said like, hey, you can still hunt on your ancestral land. Like we'll still let you hunt, but you just can't live there. I think is what's going on. if you know anything about this, please send me because I would like to know. But it's just so confusing. So you're going to have to dumb it down for me because anyways, so the Cheyenne and the Arapaho did not want to become farmers, and instead they wanted to live like they had always lived, pretty much, like hunting, gathering. Like they didn't want to become farmers, which
it's a struggle in the book as well.
Yeah, yeah. And the white women are probably trying to teach them, and they're like, we don't want to do that.
We don't care.
We don't want to have our crops die every single year when we can literally go hunt an animal.
Yeah, and gather what we need.
Exactly. Yep. Anyways, so through this treaty, it protected their rights to hunt, and it did not protect them from the white settlers and conflicts that would soon begin to escalate as the U.S. Army would become involved at certain points. So basically, like, it protected their right to hunt, but it didn't say anything about white people coming on that ancestral land and moving in, which I'll talk about it, I think, in a second. But gold had been discovered in the Black Hills, and I think that's in the book too. Yeah. And so all these white people, it's just like moving to California. All these white people are like, gold?
Here we come.
Here we come. With our weapons. And we will kill you for it.
And our diseases.
And our diseases. Yeah. So it was after all of that that the Cheyenne leader Little Wolf decided to go to Washington, D.C. in 1873 to President Grant. And it said when they got there, the Secretary of Interior tried to talk to them, but the Cheyenne and Arapaho said that they came all this way to talk to the Great Father, not his subordinate. He said, "Who are you? Who are you again? Not the president. We do not want to talk to you." Which, what an insult. Anyways, so basically nothing really came out of this other than they agreed that likely whites would continue to come on their land. President Grant's like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I just did the Civil War, so I mean, I'm taking it easy during this presidency. And so they would return to the plains and did what they could to continue to try to fight whites coming onto their land. So I think this was the point where supposedly Little Wolf said white women need to come and be our wives and stuff, but there's nothing confirming that.
Which in the book too, whenever he proposes this, everybody that's in the room, like listening to this meeting, and then Grant himself, and like everybody is like,
yeah,
oh my god,
you what are women?
Excuse me? Like,
you are a savage.
Yeah. These savages.
Where I got this source, this author of this source is Catherine, I was going to say Danielle. I think it's Danielle. Probably not. It's probably not Danielle. And she's an associate professor of history at Knox College in Illinois. Anyway, she has like a blog or something. And she says that she doesn't believe that Little Wolf would have asked for 1,000 white women in order to embrace white ways because they worked so hard to avoid it. And there is simply no evidence of him asking for 1,000 white women, which I will say that I probably agree with her, because if they're literally fighting against planting, getting off their ancestral land, they're literally doing everything that they can not to become white and to keep their traditions. Why would they ask for white wives to become like white people?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, but that's nothing against the author of this book. Like he was essentially writing this book saying like, what if this did happen?
Yeah.
So that's nothing against him. I just don't see it actually being a thing. So in 1877, Little Wolf and Chief Dull, I put Full Knife, but it's not, it's Dull Knife, were sent to Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma. This reservation would have been in northern Oklahoma, I believe, to live with the Southern Cheyenne. And where there was hardly any food or any land that was like profitable for plants, for anything, for growing crops. So they had no food. They couldn't grow crops because Oklahoma.
That's the reason. Oklahoma.
Because Oklahoma. And 2/3 of the tribe were sick with malaria, and a lot of them died pretty much in this like couple of months to a year that they were there. So in 1878, the harsh conditions were the breaking point, and the leaders, including Little Wolf and Morning Star, decided to move their people back up north. So they said, Oklahoma, big F you, we're going back to our ancestral land. And they marched their happy butts back up north to.
As they should.
As they should. As they should. I swear I put in here. I think it's Montana. It's Montana, not North Dakota, just so you guys know. Anyways, moving on. See, this is why I need
She said it's a Dakota, north or south.
I also said earlier it might be Montana.
No, you didn't. You said it might be Wisconsin.
No, I said it might be Montana. Roll film. We need a playback. Anyways, so they decided they had enough in Oklahoma and they're just gonna move on. So they split up into two bands, and Morning Star, which I think was another name for Dull Knife, he's the same guy, and one with Little Wolf. So one tribe was going, or one part was going with Little Wolf, and one was going with Morning Star. Morning Star got caught in Nebraska, but Little Wolf's offshoot had made it all the way to Montana, back to their ancestral lands. And while Morning Star's group was in Nebraska, the army would try to starve them out in order to force them back to Oklahoma. So basically they were being starved in like cages, concentration camp kind of thing. Yeah. So, and then in 1884, the executive order created that the Northern Cheyenne Reservation in southeast Montana will be along the Tong River, and this is towards like the eastern part of Montana. So they did ultimately get a reservation in Montana.
Okay, but can we also talk about how these reservations are like not even close to what these people are used to? Like,
right.
Like to go from like roaming the land and like being able to pick up and move and have this very nomadic lifestyle depending on seasons and all of that, to just being in this one area forever, like that's not
right. And even if they did want to hunt, like they can't go beyond their reservation.
Right.
So what happens when all of the wildlife, like buffaloes and everything, get off the reservation because of that? And they can't hunt?
Yeah.
So then, I mean, ultimately, that's what the government wanted,
it's basically forcing them into a white lifestyle where they're going to have to plant. They're going to have to work the land and become more.
Also, like, okay, why didn't they? My thing is, this is totally off topic, but like, why Oklahoma? Because why are you forcing all these tribes from literally coast to coast across the United States to one area when you could have just assigned every single tribe at least a reservation in the state that they were in?
Yeah, and also with like,
so they didn't have a whole new,
like,
what am I thinking of? A whole new area, a whole new terrain.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of like, not aggression, but like dislike between a lot of tribes.
Oh yeah, those suckers wanted to kill each other for sports half the time.
And then to just put them all like so close together.
Once again, Katie,
that's not smart.
The government wanted them to kill each other.
I know, but like it's just hard to fathom. Like that's not okay.
Oh, right, that's not okay. The government thought all this crap through though, like, oh,
like if they kill each other, we won't have to
kill them. If we put them in a crap piece of land, they're going to starve and we won't have to kill them.
Yep. It's horrible.
If we give them alcohol, they're going to drink themselves to death and we won't have to kill them.
Yeah, it's literally like,
I swear to,
it's literally like genocide,
but
like
infuriating.
Genocide, but toned down a bit. like
secret genocide.
Yeah, yep.
And like, let's get
Undercover
mad at
genocide.
Nazis, but like, let's essentially put all these Native Americans in concentration camps too. They did the same thing with the Trail of Tears. Literally, right before, we're gonna put as many of you guys in this little camp. Wait for as many of you guys to die, and if you don't die, we're gonna send you on this trek to Oklahoma, so you can die on that. Oh, not all of you guys died? I hope you guys die on this land from starvation.
Literally so bad. It's so bad.
Laughing because I can't cope. Like Maydod.
Yeah, she needs to go to an asylum.
I need to go to an asylum for. Anyways, that's my research. It was really poorly done because I just feel like all of these treaties are really confusing, and there's so much back and forth and like play into how the government responded to Native Americans and how the Native Americans responded, and then like
also translations and
right.
It's
basically what you need to gather from this is that probably not this proclamation of Little Wolf asking for 1,000 white women. It probably didn't happen, but maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe President Grant said that's maybe so laughable. Redacted. Yeah, that's so laughable. I'm just gonna skirt that out of the journal. So yeah, who knows?
Well, what would you rate it?
I would.
This one's tricky because it didn't actually happen.
Yeah, it's basically what the author thought would happen. What would you rate it?
I don't know. I think I would give it like a 3.5 just because the event didn't actually happen, so it's hard to tie it back to a historical event, but also like he did a good enough job of what it would look like if it had happened, if that makes sense.
I thought his display of like how like their tribal traditions and stuff are well researched, so I was gonna say a 4. Just because I don't know that these white women would have been as well received as they were in the book.
See, I don't think they would have been.
That's either. What's holding me back from a 5. I thought he did a really great job of like displaying the culture of Native Americans, specific the Cheyenne. But yeah, not enough. Yeah. So that's what we're going with.
Yeah. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yeah. And also, I did want to mention that our Facebook group got 200 members. So we will be doing a giveaway shortly on our Facebook page. So if you want to head over there and make sure that you can get in on that action, you can totally do that. It's linked below always. Also, like we said a couple weeks ago, I think we do want to do it on TikTok and Instagram as well. So make sure you follow us over there so you can get in on that action over there too. Yeah, because we be giving away lots of books.
It's a season of giving over here.
So
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. All the things.
Yeah.
But we love you. Thank you for watching.
Thanks.
All the things, and we will see you next week.